Hi there.
Joe.
Hey.
Okay, so in 2004, December, I started reading Amazing Spider-Man. That's when I first started reading comics. I want to say thank you for actually making Peter Parker an interesting character.
Thank you.
And under the mask, I mean, because everyone loves Spider-Man, but Peter Parker is kind of a jerk. So I started reading Thor because of you. He's honestly my least favorite Marvel hero. So I felt that, you know, I can move on to DC with you and Spider-Man because it's the same thing. What I want to know is, if you had to change anything about your career, would you? Like, instead of being a writer or the stories that you've done, would you change anything about it, or you accept what you've done so far?
I think you have to accept what you've done. If I could go back in time, I would have started a little bit earlier. I would have moved to LA sooner than I did. I had a situation where I kind of had to stay home for reasons that I'll talk about at some future date, longer than I planned to. And I didn't get to LA until I was in my late 20s, early 30s. And had I been up here, then I could have done more. I wish I was a better writer. Every time I sit down at the keyboard, I wish I could do better. Whenever I get too cocky and full of myself, I go up, I have a shelf of Rod Serling scripts, originals. And I pull them down whenever I feel too much like I'm full of myself, and I read that, and I want to just quit the business completely. I was working at Twilight Zone, they're going to actually redo some old episodes. They said, Joe, why don't you go down to the library at CBS and pick out which ones you want to do. And I went in, and there were all these scripts that had Rod's handwritten notes on them, and his own personal revisions and changing words and stuff. And I said, I'll need 35 of those. And I had them all stacked up very carefully in my office. And so I wish I was better. You know, every day I sit down, which is why I try and make this thing I write better than the last thing that I wrote. So I wish I was better, that's all.
Okay, thank you.
When is this done, by the way? Is this an hour and a half, or is this done? Hour? Okay, we'll make it fast, snappy.
All right.
Sorry for the long answers. Yeah.
Two things. I did have the pleasure of meeting Andreas before he passed at a convention, and the audience got him to talk about the joke script that you did in retribution for one of the pranks that you did.
I'm not hearing for some reason.
I'm sorry. I had the pleasure to meet Andreas before he had passed at a convention, and one of the audience members got him to talk about the joke script that you did in retribution for one of the pranks they pulled on you. He was laughing constantly when it brought it up. You had mentioned it in one of the script books, so I thought I would share that. Could you briefly summarize what you would have done with Crusade had it continued?
No.
Anything?
No. Thank you.
All right, I love Spider-Man. I think you also, what you said about the forums is anonymity breeds, I'm going to swear here, assholishness. You said I had Peter Parker say that at some point, but I'm going to point out my one point of contention with the entire series was the ending. I thought everything was great, but the ending kind of undid just about everything you did. And the whole deal with the devil, or Mephisto, if you'd like to call him that.
Four Seasons, room 417.
That's all I wanted to know.
I had very little to do with that. Yours is the last
This is
question.
gonna be the worst last question ever then. My father brought me into Babylon 5 and I watched it that way. And it got me into space opera and that whole sort of sci-fi thing. And you know, as I found more and more, I found this Japanese show called Legend of Galactic Heroes. And I talked about it with other friends. And we wondered, have you heard of it or seen it or anything, any knowledge about it at all?
No.
Okay, so that was the expected answer.
I will be doing a signing at 3 o'clock for those who were interested in that sort of thing. And in the interim, just if you carry anything away from this seminar, this church meeting, it would all come out on a Sunday and sharing a communion. It is that things are possible. That you didn't come out of high school thinking you were going to be doing probably what most of you were doing right now, but it's not too late. And believe in yourself, believe in your talent, believe in your skills, believe in your dreams. Don't surrender them. And the odd thing is, you step out in the faith of your own talent and your abilities and your aspirations. Oddly enough, you can go anywhere you want to go, and things do happen. Things do work out. Good luck to you.
Table one? Table one? Where?
Table one, I believe.